Chosen one, God planted it in you. Now it must be used. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when the internal whisper becomes a thunderous calling. That voice you've been ignoring, the nudge you've been brushing off, the inner fire you've tried to tame, it's all a divine signal. It's not random. It's not your imagination. It's not just your ambition. It's something sacred that God Himself planted within you before you even understood who you were. This is not the season to analyze it, hide it, or wait for approval. This is the season where what God placed within you must be activated, expressed, and unleashed. Because you weren't created to remain hidden. You were born to bloom. Watch this video until the end. Not just with your eyes, but with your soul. Something will awaken in you as these words go forth. And write your warmest wishes and the number 777 in the comments. That one wish, if spoken from the heart, can set energetic waves in motion across the universe. Because you are not just hoping for blessings. Your life is a magnet that attracts them. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. Chosen one, this is not just inspiration. This is alignment. This message is not entertainment. It is activation. There is something already in you, already planted, rooted, hidden in plain sight. You've felt it for years. Some of you tried to silence it, others doubted it, but no matter how far you strayed, it never left. Because what is divine in nature cannot die. It might be buried beneath self-doubt, trauma, failure, or fear, but it's still there. And now it must rise. You see, God didn't plant something in you just for it to remain dormant. Your gifts are not ornamental. They are instrumental. Your voice, your thoughts, your sensitivity, your resilience, your creativity, these aren't just quirks. They are spiritual tools. You were never meant to blend in. You were created to break cycles, build legacies, and awaken generations. The people around you may not recognize it. That's okay. The soil never argues with the seed. The sun doesn't seek validation to rise. And your anointing doesn't need permission to shine. It just needs your cooperation. But you must decide. Will you use what God planted? Or will you keep asking for new miracles while ignoring the miracle that already lives within you? Because this is the season of accountability. This is not about waiting for external signs anymore. The seed has already been planted. The instruction has already been whispered. And heaven is watching to see if you'll trust what's already in you. You don't need another confirmation. You need to believe in what's already confirmed. The truth is, many chosen ones don't suffer from lack of purpose. They suffer from postponing it. You already know what you're called to do. You already feel it in your bones. That business idea, that artistic expression, that leadership role, that healing gift. It's all been pressing against your chest like a heartbeat that won't slow down. And yet, you wait. You wait for approval. You wait for support. You wait until you feel ready. But the seed doesn't wait to grow until the environment is perfect. It simply reaches toward the light, even if it's just a crack. And now God is cracking open the heavens in your favor. This message is not reaching you by chance. It is a sacred nudge, a divine interruption, a bold declaration that the time is now. Not next year, not when you feel more confident, not when people understand you. Now, because waiting has cost you too much. It's cost you peace. It's cost you momentum. And it's cost you your connection to what truly fuels you. But that ends today. Today, you reconnect to the divine investment made in you. Let me say it clearly. You are a walking miracle. You are evidence of divine intention. You carry something sacred in your spirit that the world has never seen before. You don't need to invent your purpose. You need to release it. You don't need to chase influence. You need to flow in authenticity. Because the most magnetic energy on earth is the chosen one who has finally stopped shrinking. And the moment you decide to stop hiding is the moment heaven starts expanding around you. You might be thinking, but how do I use it? And the answer is simple. Start where you are. The power is not in doing something massive. It's in doing something obedient. Sometimes, the smallest acts of courage become the loudest echoes in eternity. You don't need a stage. You don't need a platform. You don't need applause. You need willingness. You need devotion. You need to show God that you're ready to move, even if it's just with a mustard seed of faith. Because what's planted in you grows through movement, not waiting. The enemy's greatest tactic was to convince you that you're not enough. But the enemy underestimated what God buried inside you. Because what's inside you is unshakable, unstoppable, undeniable. You were not given this spiritual DNA for convenience. You were given it for breakthrough. You were assigned this uniqueness because it would be the exact medicine someone else needed. And when you delay your calling, you delay someone else's healing. Your gift is not just for you, it's for everyone connected to your obedience. This is why you've always felt different. This is why you couldn't stay in toxic environments even if it meant being alone. This is why you couldn't follow the crowd even when it felt easier. You weren't being punished. You were being protected. You weren't being rejected. You were being redirected. Because soil can't keep a seed forever. Eventually, the divine in you must sprout. And even though the pressure has been heavy, pressure is proof that you're growing. That seed in you has been expanding in silence, and now it's ready to be seen. You are not running out of time. You are running into destiny. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared. And if life has been shaking lately, that's not punishment. It's positioning. God is moving things out of your way, shaking things off your spirit, and making room for your assignment to come alive. Because a seed doesn't bloom in comfort. It breaks through. And every break you've been through was not to destroy you, but to make the shell fall off the miracle in you. So don't hold back now. Don't downplay your power. Don't betray yourself by staying small to keep others comfortable. It's time to unleash what's inside of you. Speak it, build it, write it, sing it, share it, teach it, lead it, live it. Because the soil has done its job. The waiting has served its purpose. And now, your harvest depends on your decision to step forward. You will not always feel ready. But that's why you're chosen. Chosen ones don't move because they feel qualified. They move because they are called. And the calling in you is loud right now. That voice inside you is divine, and it won't let you rest until you rise. You may have thought you needed another sign. This is it. This is the sign. This is the activation. This is your confirmation. God planted it in you, and now it must be used. There's a sacred shift happening within you right now, whether you can fully explain it or not. The deeper you listen to your intuition, the louder God's original plan begins to echo. This isn't just your voice speaking. This is heaven reminding you of your mission. The pull you feel, the restlessness in your spirit, the longing for something greater. It's all part of the awakening. You are no longer who you used to be. That former version of you who doubted, delayed, and diluted their worth is dissolving. And what's rising in its place is a version of you that is bold, clear, and deeply rooted in divine identity. The beauty of what God planted in you is that it was never meant to look like anyone else's journey. This seed wasn't mass-produced. It wasn't copied from others. It was handcrafted in heaven for your soul. Your life, your impact. That's why comparison has always drained you. That's why trying to fit in felt suffocating. Because you weren't born to fit in. You were born to stand out. The moment you start honoring what's different about you is the moment your power begins to bloom. It is time to take your uniqueness seriously. You've played small for too long, not because you're incapable, but because you've been conditioned to believe that safe means successful. But chosen ones were never designed for safe. You were designed for sacred. Sacred influence, sacred disruption, sacred impact. And sacred callings come with sacred responsibility. That means no more hiding, no more pretending, and no more apologizing for the weight of your spirit. Every time you've walked into a room and felt out of place, it wasn't because you were wrong for the space. It was because the space was too small for your anointing. Every time you tried to dim your light to avoid conflict, you felt spiritually drained, not because you did the wrong thing, but because you disconnected from your assignment. The seed inside you thrives in authenticity. It suffocates in performance. And your liberation starts the moment you return to your original spiritual frequency. You've been waiting for life to make sense before you start. But chosen ones aren't led by logic. They're led by faith. This journey isn't about being perfect. It's about being aligned. And alignment begins when you say yes to what you know you were born for, even when the path is unclear. You don't need to see the whole road. You just need to take the next step. The road will rise to meet your obedience. The resources will appear. The people will come. But the door opens only when you move toward it. And chosen one, this is your moment to move. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if it feels like you're not ready. Your spirit is. Your gift is. What God placed in you has been waiting for this version of you to say yes. Not the perfect version, not the one with everything figured out, but the real you. The one who's tired of pretending. The one who's ready to live fully, speak boldly, and walk unapologetically in truth. Because when you stop trying to be who they expect, and you finally become who you were created to be, miracles happen. Some of you have buried your gifts because of past failure. You tried once, and it didn't work. You gave your all, and they laughed. You believed in someone, and they betrayed you. And ever since then, you've been shrinking in silence. But let this be your reminder. Failure is not a tomb. It's a tunnel. It's not the end. It's the beginning of evolution. The rejection you experienced was divine redirection. The delay was divine incubation. What you went through didn't bury you, it fertilized you. Everything you've faced, the heartbreak, the loss, the disappointment, the pain, was all preparation. God didn't just plant something in you and walk away. He's been tending to it in ways you didn't even recognize. Every tear you cried watered your destiny. Every night you stayed up praying gave birth to more resilience. Every time you got back up after life knocked you down, your roots grew deeper. You didn't realize it then, but you were being prepared for something greater than anything you've ever imagined. And now it's time to use it, not just to survive, not just to exist, but to lead, to shine, to build something that outlives you, to create with divine boldness, to walk into rooms like you belong, because heaven already confirmed that you do. To wake up each day not wondering if you're worthy, but knowing you're needed. Because what's planted in you isn't just for inspiration, it's for transformation. The people you are meant to touch, teach, heal, and guide are waiting for you to rise. And you don't even know how powerful you already are. That idea in your heart, that vision you can't let go of, it's not random. It's your calling knocking. Open the door. Say yes. Take the step. Trust that what's planted in you is already enough. You don't have to be the loudest. You don't have to be the most followed. You don't have to be famous. You just have to be faithful. When you operate in purpose, even the smallest action becomes supernatural. A single word you speak in truth can shift someone's entire life. A single project you launch in obedience can open generational doors. Don't underestimate the ripple effect of your yes. Your obedience is someone else's breakthrough. There are people who are watching you right now, and they don't even realize they're being awakened by your example. That's the power of being planted by God. You're not just growing, you're influencing everything around you. Your courage becomes contagious. Your healing becomes hope. Your transformation becomes testimony. You are the living proof that it's possible. And the more you rise, the more others believe they can too. But it can't happen if you stay silent. It can't happen if you stay in fear. God didn't plant a seed of greatness in you so it could be buried beneath insecurity. That fear you feel, it's not truth, it's resistance. And resistance shows up strongest right before the breakthrough. So don't run from it. Walk through it. Trust that God wouldn't have given you the vision if He didn't also equip you with the capacity to carry it. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are not too damaged. You are not too broken. You are right on time for the assignment you were born to complete. And that thing inside of you, the dream, the gift, the divine spark, it's not just ready. It's necessary. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs your original light. And that light can only shine when you stop hiding what's holy about you. So breathe deeply. Stand tall. Let go of who you were told to be, and remember who you were created to become. You are the manifestation of divine timing. You are the answer to a generational prayer. You are the one your ancestors whispered about. You are the disruption that darkness feared. And the moment you begin to truly believe that, everything will shift. Chosen one, the longer you carry what's divine in silence, the heavier it becomes. Not because it's a burden, but because it's begging for expression. You're not supposed to keep it locked away. You're not meant to store sacred fire in a hidden room. What's inside of you was designed to breathe, to bless, to move, to speak. The vision inside of you has its own pulse now, and if you've been feeling that intensity, that pressure, that divine weight, it's not anxiety, it's activation. You've outgrown who you used to be. That's why the old habits don't feel right anymore. That's why certain relationships suddenly feel heavy. That's why routines that used to bring you comfort now seem dull. Because your spirit is no longer compatible with smallness. The seed in you has cracked open, and growth is inevitable now. This shift isn't confusion, it's confirmation. God is transitioning you from potential to purpose, from planting to producing, from preparation to power. Don't let the transition intimidate you. It's supposed to feel unfamiliar. It's supposed to feel like something new is emerging, because it is. You're stepping into a realm that requires your full presence. You can't be halfway in and halfway out. You can't keep one foot in fear and one foot in faith. This seed can't thrive in divided soil. It needs your full attention now, your full commitment, your full surrender. And the moment you stop running from your calling, the harvest will begin to run towards you. There's a reason why so many things didn't work out before. It wasn't because you failed. It was because you were trying to plant divine gifts in soil that couldn't nourish them. You were trying to build your future in places where your roots couldn't breathe. Some environments were not toxic. They were just too small. They didn't have the nutrients your spirit needed. And God allowed certain doors to close not to punish you, but to protect what He planted. You've spent enough time trying to make it work where it no longer fits. Now it's time to align with where your spirit thrives. Your gift has a territory. Your voice has a vibration. Your calling has coordinates. You were never meant to stay planted in a pot. You were created to grow in a field. And in this next season, you are being led into fertile ground. The kind of ground where miracles manifest. The kind of ground where your purpose can stretch out fully, unapologetically, and permanently. And here's the truth. Using what's been planted doesn't always mean doing something flashy. Sometimes it looks like being consistent when no one is watching. Sometimes it looks like choosing healing over hiding. Sometimes it means having the courage to say no to what distracts you and yes to what develops you. Because the soil of purpose is made rich by devotion, not attention. Your quiet commitment to your calling will echo louder in the spirit than any applause ever could. There are sacred assignments attached to your obedience. People you haven't even met yet are depending on your yes. Generational chains are waiting to be broken by your voice. The atmosphere around you is shifting because of what you're about to do. That's why the enemy worked so hard to make you doubt yourself. Because the enemy knows that if you ever fully accept what God placed in you, nothing will ever be able to stop you. You'll walk differently, speak differently, live differently, and most of all, you'll create differently. Creating from the Spirit is different than creating from survival. Survival produces out of pressure. Spirit produces out of truth.